Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope you're all doing well today. Today I've got some crazy Dogman encounters to share with you, but you guessed it, first the links. The first link I'd like to share with you is Tromic's lead delivery system, home of the original 458 SOCOM, owned by Tony Ramore. This guy's a true American. He designed an AR upper to be attached to your existing AR lower and blast 458 instead of 223 or 556. He designed this for our troops in the Middle East to stop truck bombs. Now guys, straight across the board, if this 458 is going to stop a truck, it's going to stop a Dogman. Tromic's link is in the description below, and check out some of Tony's other great products. Now on to my links. As you know, I rely on my Patreon, my PayPal, and my merch to help this channel to continue to grow and go. Those links are in the description below. I also have a second channel for creepypasta, fanfiction, and scary voice acting. Stories that don't fit on this channel. Now, if that's anything that you're into, follow that link and give those stories a listen. You may just like what you hear. And a while back, I started a GoFundMe page to help raise some money for urban exploration, cryptid hunting, and ghost hunting videos. I'm going to be putting those out very, very soon. I'm hopefully going to start recording this weekend. Now, if that's anything that you're willing to help with, that link is in the description as well. Now I've taken enough of your time. Let's get on with these Dogman encounters. Shall we? Today's first Dogman encounter brings us to McAllen, Texas, 2008. Myself, my friend Eric, and my sister and her boyfriend had been hanging out smoking a few J's at a friend's house on Bicentennial. I was dropping off my sister's boyfriend, Ian, near Trenton Road, and I was driving back south. I was talking to my sister, who was sitting in the passenger seat, and my friend, who was in the back seat of my Blazer, but he was leaning forward between us. As I was approaching Nolina, there was a red sedan in front of me, and we were both going at a steady rate of 35 to 40 miles an hour. But right before I was nearing Walmart on Nolina, the guy driving in front of me kept slowing down until we made a complete stop in the road. I was mainly staring at the guy's taillights while I was driving, but when he made the stop, I said, "What the hell is this guy doing?" I looked at my sister and my friend, and they just stared, frozen straight. The guy in front of me hauled ass, and my sister said, "Oh my God, did you see that?" As she started to tear up next to me. My friend yelled, "Dude, what the hell was that thing?" And I kept saying, What are you guys talking about?" My sister kept yelling to me, drive fast." But I was so confused about what had happened. As the week went by, I got the full details about what had happened back there, and apparently, as we were approaching Walmart, there was this huge dog that looked like a pitch-black Great Dane running across the street, east to west. Apparently, when the red sedan spotted it, it was about 5 feet from his car, so we made a full stop. My sister said the dog stood straight up on 2 feet and walked slowly in front of both cars as he was staring directly at our Blazer. As soon as it crossed the sidewalk to the other side, it got back on all fours and took off, heading west. I personally didn't see the thing, but my friend said it was almost identical to the werewolf in Harry Potter. The second and third encounter go hand in hand, and you'll see why. So when I was young, I lived in Ometo, Texas. A lot of stuff happened to me there. One night, my brother-in-law asked me if I'd go to the store and get some nachos. It was around 10 at night. The store isn't a far walk, maybe 5 minutes from where I lived, but it was pitch black out because only a couple of homes could afford those light posts. Across the street from my house was a little forest all along the dirt road until you hit the main road. Some creepy-looking trees and bushes along that road. The store was the only thing that had a light post at the time, and there was enough light from the houses to know which house was yours. Anyway, I went to pick up the nachos and started to head home. Once I got out of the store, I started hearing something doing tss to me. I stopped and turned around and saw nothing. And I started to walk again, and I heard psst again. I thought it might have been my brother-in-law trying to scare me, so I cussed at him and told him to stop being dumb. I was a little scared, to be honest, because it was so dark and I kept hearing that noise. I started to walk a little faster to get home a little quicker, and that's when I heard a low growl and hoof-like steps following me. I wanted to run, but I felt like I was going to fall if I did. So I started to walk a little faster, but the hoof-like steps kept following me almost at the same speed I was walking. I finally had the guts to turn around, and what I saw was horrible. It looked like a big black dog, but with hooves. It looked like its hair was coarse, like that of a pig, with big red glowing eyes. It was showing its teeth and fangs just like dogs and wolves do. Every step I took, it also took one, and I could hear the hoofs stomp on the dirt road. It had a low growl like if you wanted to run and attack me. All I could do was walk backwards and keep my eyes on it so it wouldn't attack me. Just seeing the red glowing eyes gave me goosebumps, and when I started to get close to my house, it disappeared like smoke. I ran inside, and I guess I was pale because my mom, brother-in-law, and sister were asking me what happened. I told them, and my mom said, "Stop talking trash." She didn't want to believe me, or she was just too afraid. My brother-in-law went into their room, and he got his gun and went outside to see if he could see anything. He said he didn't see anything, but he did hear a psst and some evil laughter that gave him goosebumps as well. We don't talk about it in front of my mom because I think she gets real scared about it. Now, as an adult, I get goosebumps just remembering those red glowing eyes and that low growl that was about to attack me in my teenage years. I go every year to see my dad, which still lives in that area, but he doesn't let me go outside at night alone. It's still spooky in that area, but now there are more people living there and there are more light posts everywhere. That was one of the many incidences that I had encountered. Today's third encounter brings us to Corpus Christi, Texas. It was 1973 and I was hitchhiking from New Braunfels to Corpus Christi on Texas 123. It was 2 or 3 in the morning and there was a fog that had just settled in. It was late and the first 2 cars didn't stop. They just kept driving. Now I understand it was late, but I was young and dumb and proceeded on. I came across a bridge and began to walk across it, and as I did, I heard something, psst. I thought I was hearing things and continued to walk. A few minutes later, I heard it again. The bridge was long, but I knew I heard something. I looked down the side of the bridge and was barely able to make out the floor, but there was nothing there. I continued to walk and heard it again and then again. I thought it was somebody messing with me, perhaps a transient seeking shelter under the bridge. Then I remembered thinking, how did they see me and how did they hear me from the other side of the bridge? The sound was emanating from under the bridge. How were they following me from under the bridge? The noise began to get louder, and as I was nearing the end of the bridge, and then I heard indistinct voices. Not one, but multiple. Now I was dumb, naive. I thought I was brave and bad. So I did what any idiot would do. I began to descend under the bridge. The voices began to move away, so I started to walk deeper down. I thought I began to hear laughter, and then it dawned on me. They were luring me down. I paused and slowly began to backtrack, and then I heard psst once again. It was coming towards me. Psst, still closer. The heaviness and urgency filled me as I turned to run. Psst, closer still. The fog got heavier as I began to sprint. Psst. It had to have been only a few yards away. My lungs were beginning to burn and I could feel my side beginning to hurt. Light up ahead on an oncoming car, my salvation was on the opposite side. To this day, I'm not sure what he saw. He saw me running, and he must have seen what was behind me. His face was in utter disbelief. He slowed down enough to get a better look, and then he sped away. I was defeated. My muscles began to protest, and then, psst, it was already at my back. Just then a semi came from out of nowhere, and it was coming fast. I took my chances and started flailing my arms. He saw me and began to slow down. Whatever this thing was, the semi seemed to scare it off. I turned around, still moving forward, and saw nothing. There was a lot of lights on the semi, and the entire area seemed to be illuminated. He opened the door, and I jumped in. Before I closed the door, I heard someone from the side of the brush. Psst! Almost. It was guttural and angry. I looked at the driver and asked him, "Did you hear that?" He smiled and said, "Must be coyotes." "You all right, son? Where you headed?" he asked, as he put the big rig in gear and slowly lumbered back onto the pavement. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw something angry and big, something I can't describe, something that shouldn't be. "Corpus, sir, thank you. You don't know what a blessing you are." I wanted to cry. I was scared, but I was still alive. I was alive. Today's fourth encounter is a possible skinwalker coming to us from Montana. I'm a believer that skinwalkers exist and still roam freely. I'm still terrified at what I saw, and I'm not the only one that saw it. My girlfriend and I had just gotten into our vehicle, and we're about to head out for a drink, about 10:30 at night. Now, before I continue, I want to paint a little picture of our surroundings, but don't want to give too much information about our specific location, just to be on the safe side. Now, we're staying in a hotel in Montana on a hiking trip. Our vehicle is in a fairly vacant lot with a 12-foot fenced-in enclosure. We had just gotten into the car, like I said before, and I turned the vehicle on, and the automatic lights turn on, revealing what I immediately knew had to have been a skinwalker. It sprung forward from its previous sitting position and ran about 3 very fast steps before leaping over the fence. And its body scared the living hell out of me. It had a light tan skin, but it was very spindly. Think Slender Man build, but was about 6 to 7 feet tall. Its arms were long, with thin, long fingers that looked like claws. The head had a human shape to it, but the eyes. It turned to look at us in a brief moment, and there were no light reflecting from the eyes. Nothing, just blackness. This all happened less than 5 seconds. I turned towards my girlfriend, hoping I didn't see what I just saw. She sat there, staring at the fence, and could only whisper, "Drive." I couldn't move. I kept saying, "That was a skinwalker, that was a skinwalker," before she finally was able to turn towards me and basically scream at me, "Drive." I got us out of there, and we proceeded to go to the bar and get drunk as hell, refusing to talk about it. We got a ride back to the hotel and got our vehicle in the morning. She still won't talk to me about it, but I think according to legends, you're not supposed to talk about it. Wow. That last encounter, definitely a skinwalker, and this guy has the same feeling I have about him. Just, ugh. God, they're so creepy and freaky. I can't stand those things. First encounter, wow, what a crazy Dogman encounter that was. You know, I never get enough of Dogman encounters. Ever. Ever. The 2 that happened in Texas, I'm thinking possible Dogman based off the first. But down in Texas, in New Mexico, and Mexico, they have this black dog-like creature called the Cajo. I hope I'm saying it right. And it's just this huge black dog with red eyes, and it has a tendency of luring people and killing them. So I don't know. I just love these 4 encounters. I took a couple days off, feel a lot better, missed reading your guys' comments, even though I did have a couple to read here and there from people listening, but I just missed recording because, even though you guys are there and I'm here, I feel like I'm with you guys every time I narrate one of these. I feel like we're sitting by a fire, roasting marshmallows and scaring the living shit out of each other. Anyway, guys, I've got a great lineup coming this rest of the week for you. Now, feel free to go check out Tromic's lead delivery system and make sure you're here for tomorrow's upload. And with that, I bid you a farewell.